Tulsa's Golden Driller, our state monument, standing tall in Midtown permanently since 1966.
At 76 feet, the statue towers over Expo Square, a popular spot amongst tourists, and a history you might not know a lot about.
Tulsa, oil capital of the world. Backdrop for the International Petroleum Exposition, where oilmen could sample the latest and greatest in the industry. And where the first Golden Driller made its big debut in 1953. It was so popular with visitors, the driller returned in '59, seen here being hoisted onto an oil derrick by a large crane. But it wasn't until '66 that the statue we know today became a permanent fixture. From the top of his head down to his giant shoes. These pictures show the construction from the inside out. It was a massive project and a huge undertaking for construction workers.
These men that showed up to work every day and did their part and used their talents to make the Golden Driller what it is today is very special. And he didn't think he was special in any kind of way.
That's former State Senator Blake "Cowboy" Stevens, and he's talking about his dad, John Stevens, Jr.
My dad loved our country. He loved God.
Stevens, a Navy veteran, grew up in Sapulpa. He loved the rodeo.
And that's a saddle my dad won.
His family and his wife Evelyn of 65 years.
My mom and dad are just as tight as bark on a tree.
Blake says his dad was always a hard worker, doing a variety of jobs over the years to provide.
Started at the bottom and worked his way up through life.
Stevens also worked in the oil industry for a brief period of time.
And he knew what those roughneckers and those wildcatters, were exposed to.
And at age 29, when plans to build the Golden Driller in its current location came up, Stevens found himself supervisor of construction. But that's not the only job he was called to do.
A lot of his longtime friends he never knew that he was the model for the Golden Driller.
You heard that right. Stevens was also the model for Tulsa's Golden Driller.
They called him into the office out of the blue. They told him how to stand, where to put his hands, and then they said, "Stevens, act like you got a bee on the end of your nose and don't move."
Blake says his dad was a boxer in the Navy, and his chiseled physique probably had something to do with being chosen. However,
I will tell the viewer that he wasn't quite that tall.
Stevens stood just 5'9".
He was tall in character.
Being a very private and humble man, for years, Stevens never desired any recognition.
Later in life, Blake convinced his father to be more open about his role. It really wasn't so much about the man behind the statue, but more about Tulsa's rich history and the oil workers who sacrificed so much.
At the state capitol, it was really a special day. He was recognized in the state senate. We went to the other side to the House of Representatives and recognized him over there.
Stevens was also recognized by the city and the county, declaring January 30th, 2023, John Franklin Jr. Stevens Day.
Which happened to be really special to me because that's my birthday.
John Stevens passed away surrounded by family last September 24th at the age of 88.
I get pretty emotional, but it also gives me a sense of pride in knowing that the legacy that he left, the lives that he's touched, that makes it all worthwhile. Just wish he was here to have one more conversation with.
Blake says he can't think of a better model for the Tulsa Driller.
He has a deep love for our state.
For Oklahoma Strong,
he was always proud to be an Okie.
I'm Anna Berry.